My name is Piri Ackerman-Barger, and I'm a faculty member at the Betty Irene Moore School of Nursing. I am a registered nurse, I'm a nurse educator, and I'm a nurse scientist. So how do we, in health professions, learning environments, create an environment where students feel like they want to share their identity and that they will be respected and valued for the contributions that they make based on that identity? I mean, take for example, a student who experienced homelessness growing up, was in poverty, homeless. Think of how valuable that perspective is in understanding the health needs, the resources needed, and that lived experience. I personally want to have folks like that participating in policy making and decisions about resource allocation and making decisions about what is going to be researched and who is going to be researched, right? So everybody brings in a certain amount of value, but we don't get the benefit from that value if people don't feel included, if they feel marginalized because of that identity. The reason that I'm looking at microaggressions is my strong belief in the value of diversity. And so diversity should be thought of broadly, right? And diversity means that in any group of people, there are people that have different perspectives and different backgrounds, right? So one of the ways that we often lack diversity is around race and ethnicity. That's one example of diversity. And that's a quick way to diversify a group of people, but it's not the only way that there can be diversity. I mean, when you look at any given person, you have no idea what their background is. You don't know if you're talking with somebody who struggles with a mental health issue or has a family member that does, who has struggled with substance abuse, again, homelessness. Are they HIV positive? I mean, all of these things that are really valuable perspectives in healthcare, right? So in order to both create diversity and have the value of diversity manifested, we have to have this thing called inclusion, right? And again, that's back to that piece about respect and valuing people's perspectives and contributions. And so the diversity doesn't work if you don't have the inclusion. In fact, if you bring a bunch of people together with different worldviews, the default then is to, focus on what is other and what's different about others or about the group of people that you're with. And conflict ensues. So there's really this skill that needs to happen where we engage in cultural humility, that we understand that we're constantly in a learning process. And one of the ways of getting to that place is understanding the concepts of unconscious bias and what role we play in it, and what microaggressions are, how they look. I think it's important. I mean, it's pretty easy for most people to identify times when they've received a microaggression. Recognizing the times when you've been the perpetrator of a microaggression is much harder, right? And that's really the key piece, is being open to the fact that you have and do, drop microaggressions. So you need to understand that process so that you're avoiding doing that, so that we can participate in this group processes that leverages the value of diversity.